Hey, welcome to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. So, we're going to talk about a couple things today, and I think we'll have fun. And thanks for tuning in. All right. So, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm not really going to do, like I talked about before, Mandela effects too much. There's things that I'm going to, you know what it's like? It's like I want to talk about things to get everybody on the same playing field, on the same level, and then I'll talk about it. So I don't feel like, because I have a little bit more level of knowledge than everybody else about it, because I've been thinking about it so much. So, and I figured out some things. So I'll lay it out there, but I want to get everybody in a certain level of knowledge base. You know, I can't just drop this truth bomb and then, your mind's blown. You're like, what? I don't understand. So I'm trying to get everybody on the same level on everything. And I'm really excited about 2020. There's some good things coming. It's great things coming. It's going to be lit. It's going to be off the hook. So that's really wonderful. I'm looking down because I have something to share with you. So, and we're all going to be manifesting great things for ourselves in 2020. And this is what I'm going to talk about right now. There's one small Mandela effect. I could talk about the changes. I could talk about it. And I'm freezing right now. I just turned on the heat. I didn't realize the heat wasn't on. You walk around thinking about things, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's cold. And so that's kind of funny. But I shared with this other channel about Mandela effects. I mean, I shared like 5 of them I saw, and they were like, oh, and they're a major channel that list things, and people got were like, what? And they didn't list some of the big ones I told them about. It was just like too crazy. And I understand. That's why I shared them. I didn't want to share them on my channel. I'm trying to get away from that because, people just can't. It just blows people's minds, and it's just too much. It's just too big. It's too big a change. You go, wait, that wasn't, so it's just too much. So I don't want to blow people's minds. I really don't, but in a good way, So, but this one I'm going to share with you because I thought is apropos to what's going on energetically. And this is the phoenix bird in China. So it's very exciting. We have this phoenix bird, a bird. So a phoenix bird, of course, is a myth, right? Phoenixes aren't real, are they? Yes, they are. What? There's never. It's called manifestation. That's what we're talking about. Manifestation, right? So this manifested. So to me, as we say in the Mandela effect community, it never existed. The Mandela effect makes things change, right? We're going to get more into that stuff later. But this is a phoenix bird, a bird. So what is it? So I hate holding up this stupid thing and showing you this because it doesn't, people go, what? That's not real. So, like everybody knows what the phoenix, like in Harry Potter, they had a phoenix bird. Okay, so here's a real one. Okay, so these are real, known as the red phoenix. Like you have to change it, the name. It's a real bird. It's not fake. Everybody's like, oh yeah, no, it's not real. It looks, if you look at it, that's a male and a female. If you look at the pictures that they have, it really does, and I made up a meme on my website, it really does look exactly like the one from Harry Potter. It really, here's a good illustration of it. I mean, it is a manifestation of the red phoenix. So, I mean, look at that, right? I mean, see, I'm not making this up. This is real. people think I make these things up. They're like, that can't be real. That's the real phoenix bird. And I made up a meme on my phone about the phoenix, this bird, that bird I just showed you a picture of, and the one from Harry Potter. Both, sorry, I dropped that. Both flying. They look really similar. So, which is crazy, right? You're like, how could that manifest? Well, what is the phoenix bird? What does it represent? It represents change, right? The bird is burning up. It goes down into the embers, and then it's risen again. So what's happening is 2019, we're burning down those embers, and 2020, we're going to be rising up like the phoenix. So that's what's going on with the energies in our reality. This is real. This isn't like, I'm not making up new agey stuff. Like that bird I just showed you is a real bird. I didn't make that up. Like there really was like an eclipse, like on 2019 here on December 25th, 26th. It was supposed to be the 26th. Everybody says 26th. Oh, time zone changed, 25th. Yeah, whatever. So now we have the eclipse. Now it's a circle around the moon. It was a ring of fire. And people are saying that that's the Mahdi. That is the Mahdi. That shows that the Mahdi's coming, you know? So there's a lot of information out there that's making itself known to certain people. Are saying, huh? What? So maybe you're not, cognizant of all this. I mean, I'm way deep in all of it, and I'm mentioning some of it just to get everybody else, kind of up to speed. And I'm just talking. I don't have a script. I like to do things live if I can, and I need more subscribers, so please like, subscribe, share. So anyway, so we have that going on. We have the phoenix. So to get back to that. So the phoenix, it burns down. It's a symbol of healing. It's a symbol of, certainly good luck. It is a symbol of it is the bird from paradise. Okay? So this bird is a mythical bird, but yet it's real. And I remember reading about, phoenixes, and I'm like, boy, that'd be so cool if they're really real. It's a mythical bird, but it burns down from the, and now there's a picture, they're real, they're in China, but they're rare, but now there's these phoenixes, right? So, oh my gosh. So it burns down. The myth of the phoenix is it burns down. Its majestic appearance will make you feel fascinated, it says here in this article. So what is about, the phoenix, mythological birds? It says right here, mythical, and I typed in Phoenixburg, China. So in China, they have these myths about Fing Hong. Fing Hong are mythical birds found in East Asian mythology that reign over all other birds. And they have, in China, they have birds, they have a myth about it, like they're really into the phoenix. And I don't know if any of them are aware in China that now they're real. So they're not a myth. So how could they have a myth about something if it's real? Right? You're like, wait, how could you have a myth about something that's real? It's not a myth and it's real. So there's a real phoenix and it's funny. You gotta laugh. Okay, so the Fing Hong's body symbolizes the celestial bodies. I'm making myself laugh. The head is the sky, the eyes are the sun, the back is the moon, the wings are the wind, and the feet are the earth, the tail are the planets. I think they covered all the bases with this myth. The Fing Hong is said to have originated in the sun. Its body contains 5 fundamental colors, and this bird did have all those colors, which is crazy. The images of the ancient bird have appeared in China for over 8,000 years. Earliest is the Hongshang Neolithic, and I've never heard of these, Neolithic period of jade and pottery motifs. Let's see, according to the period, let's see, the virtue of benevolence, charity, and humanity, honesty and uprightness. I want to sit up straight when I read that. Maybe doing one's best, conscientiousness, loyalty, and the virtue of reciprocity. I can't read today. Altruism and consideration of others. Knowledge, faithfulness, integrity, or correct behavior, propriety, good manners, politeness, ceremony, and worship. So these are all the things that this denotes. A symbol of high virtue and grace. It symbolizes the union of yin and yang. The first chapter of classic sees it goes down to it. So this is really exciting. They have these, mythic, they have statues that are really old statues to this bird that was a myth for years and years and years, and very interesting. There's all these myths about the phoenix. So that's what we're like. We're like going into this energy of the phoenix. So our careers might be burning down, but they're going to rise up new. Our relationships might be burning down, but they're going to rise up even better. Our monetary, the monetary system might burn out, but our monies are, but it's all going to like rise up. Everything. I think that's what's going on with 2020. So it's very exciting. It's these manifestations. So people who are Mandela affected will understand what I'm talking about. If you're not Mandela affected, this makes total no sense to you. My apologies. But it's just really exciting to see that and know what that's really, how come that kind of manifested. I mean, you have to trust in God and trust in the source and know that that's like a symbol. Like, I was so excited to see that. I'm like, oh, now I'm a literal bird from paradise manifested on the earth. I mean, to me, this should be major spiritual news. Like, this is what the Spiritual Scientist channel is all about. Is about talking about real things, but spiritual. Like, and it came from the heavens, and it's real. Like, this is science. We could just talk about science. We could just say, and I've thought about that from now on. I'll just talk about Mandela effects, but just call them nature. Quirky things in nature, I'll just say they're nature. So why don't we do that? Maybe that's a safe way to back into all these things that I notice. And we'll just talk about them as nature. So maybe I will talk about some interesting other things that are nature that I've shared with other channels and too scary to do. I don't know. And maybe they did share them, but I didn't watch for hours on one channel. I'll share. I feel like the thing is, you guys, I feel like I do these videos in my mind a lot, and I feel like I'm like, I already did this, and I didn't. So I feel like I talked about it in my mind a lot, but I didn't. Did I do this? No, I don't think I did. So this is a sick one. I could see why. I don't think I did this one. I don't think anyone's done it. See that spider there? It's really weird. Did I do this video already? It's weird. I'm having a double memory like I did already. So there's a spider. Did I do? What? I'm feeling like I did this already. Oh, I think I did this and I erased the video. Yeah. So this is because it freaked me out too much. This is this snake that its tail is now a spider that looks like a spider, and it eats birds. Jason Christopher just commented on something I commented on. Hey, if you're watching this, Jason, love your channel, man. I feel like we could team up. We could do something somehow later on. This is a freakiest Mandela effect one. I mean, it's a snake that has its tail its tail is the most disgusting thing. Its tail is a spider. So it made its made its spider into a tail. So you could say, oh, it evolved that way. Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, I'm really into everything. I'm in this world. Like but I'm not of this world, but I'm in this world, and I'm cognizant. Like, I buy books like on snakes, and I read all the snakes, all the books. I mean, I'm really into things. I buy books on all fishes, and I read like for a hobby. Sometimes I'll just read all the fishes. I used to do that, and I got you get obsessed with a certain subject, and I just study and study and study, and I drop it and I go something else. I'm like, people used to say that to me about me, like, you're like a Renaissance guy. You're really into this and you're really into that, and then all of a sudden I see you're into something else, and it's just like, that's always what I'm. Look, that's what it looks like. Thing is the freakiest thing in the world. I don't know if I'm gonna show you anymore because that's really freaky, and it's a new old creature that, let's just say, I didn't know about. Anyway, so I thought I'd talk to you about that. I thought I'd talk to you about, I'm super excited from the manifesting point of view about 2020. So if you keep that excitement into your life, it's going to happen, right? So I've been super excited. I went today, as an example, I went to get some Dunkin' Donuts, and don't even talk to me about the name Dunkin' Donuts. And anyway, so, and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. That's a big one to me, that flipped me out. So I walked into Dunkin' Donuts. I got that veggie sausage, which it's good. It's okay. It just, you just didn't, it didn't give it that zing, but it was all right. And I stopped and I said, oh, maybe it started raining. I said, a little bit, but drop hit me. So I said, maybe I'll get a lottery ticket. And I'm walking over to a place. I walked from work, dead. And there's this sign in front of the liquor store. It said 3 bottles for $33. So I'm like looking at it, like 333. And I'm like, that's a good reason to get a lottery ticket right in front of, right, the next door is the lottery place, right? But it's more like, I feel like those, like we're being led to, not led, but we're seeing these signs. It was literally on a sign in front of me on the sidewalk. There's a placard, said 3-33. And I mean, so you see this and you're like, I felt so happy, you get happy. And I'm like, it's not about buying the lottery ticket. That wasn't the happy part. But I feel like, I'm like, yes, I'm on the path. I'm manifesting the reality that I want now. It's happening. 2020 is going to happen. 2020 is happening. So I have this, I'm actually a real spiritual teacher. I'm a real one. Like, there's other ones out there, and there's like bad gurus and bad priests and all this. Oh, makes you want to throw up. I'm like the good one. I'm the real one. Like, I keep saying it, like I'm saying, like, I'm the real one, because I had this, I got to this state of mind where I'm like, I'm the real dude. I'm it. And it's like exciting. I'm like, you look in the mirror, like, you're the dude. You. So it's exciting. And, stuff just comes out of my mouth and it's friggin' wise. I'm like, oh, who said that? That was me, It's so funny. It's real. So it's exciting. And helping people, it's so fun, to, like, I went to the mall with someone else, like, and I never go to the mall, but I went like a week ago, and I was just so excited to be there and to see all these people, because I'm always working, I'm always, by myself or whatever, reading. I went out in public, and I'm like, I'm just looking at people. I'm going, I could help that person. I could help that person. I could help that person. I know how to help that person. And the person I'm with is just like, stop. And I said it out loud. I'm like, I could help all these people. They're like, stop. Just stop wanting to help people. And I'm like, no, it's fun. You don't get it. They're just like, I'm weird. And I'm like, I'm not weird. I know how to help people. I just want to teach them meditation, all this. I know, like, that person right there, I know. And like, I'm so excited. It made me laugh, and I'm like, they're like, berating me, like, I'm like, do you understand, like I'm trying to say, I'm not like, it's not like I have like a drug problem, I'm not like, I'm not like an alcoholic. I'm not like, I really want a beer or I really want to shoot up. I'm like, I really want to help people, They don't get it. They're like, whatever excess, whatever too much is, it must be bad. So like, oh my gosh, now you want to go help somebody else. Oh, now you're going to go talk to them and straighten them out. I'm like, yeah, I want to go do that right now. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to talk to them. Like, it just makes me laugh. Anyway, so where was I? So I was talking about the 333, and I got so excited. So I'm actually going to be teaching at an ashram, a real ashram, which, if you don't know, is like, it's like this whole, it's a non-denominational ashram where I'm going to be teaching a class on enlightenment, teaching the Hamsa meditation that I've done. So I channeled, over 20 years ago, praying, and it came to me, this meditation, and I got it, and I practiced it, and it helped me to gain an enlightened state. And I want to teach other people, and I put it online, and this whole thing, it's this whole thing. This is this whole thing. So it's really exciting, and I want to talk, about that, and it's awesome. It teaches mindfulness, and I helped found it, and it's crazy. So maybe I'll lay it out there now. It just sounds insane, and it's all insane, but whatever. It's an insane channel. If you like normal channels, turn the channel. So I got into the, I was with somebody who's very, very spiritual time, or we're bouncing truths back and forth, vibrating faster and faster, and it was like really, good. So she had the person said Hamsa. It was like she had a dream, and in a dream, I went to another. In the dream, I was in another Earth, separate from the Earth we were in. This was back in 2010, okay? And I was separate from the Earth I was in 2010. They said there was another Earth, which I was like, what? In her dream. And she said, and she was having these dreams, okay, that were like coming true all over the place. She was like having these visions. It was like crazy. So I knew whatever she was saying was 100% true. And she was like, you were in another Earth, and you were known as a spirit. And this is in 2010, where I wasn't doing all this. And she's like, and you're known as a spiritual teacher, and your last name was like Hansa, Hansa, or Hamsa, Hamsa. So Hansa or Hamsa. And she couldn't remember the name at first, but I made her remember. I'm like, what was it? What was it? And she was having these clear, she was like, Hamsa. So at the time, I was Victor Awakened on Facebook, and I didn't want to use my last name because for a number of reasons. I didn't want the good karma for me doing healings. I wanted that to go up to heaven. I want those treasures up in heaven. So I wanted to have a different, name like Hamsa. And it made sense. I was like, okay. I looked it up, and there wasn't much on Hamsa and Hansa, but I'd like the name Hamsa a little better. It sounded nicer. Either one. And I Googled it, I searched it just to, and the only thing about it was a swan. Okay. That was it. That was it. And I Googled it and searched it. That was it. Swan. Then I was like, okay, so swan. And I made my name up to that. Did more distance healing, helped other people. And I enjoy it. It's fun. And did a lot of stuff. Got more spiritual. Ended up being a spiritual teacher. Like relating all the lessons I have already for years ago. And it's helped me out a lot. Now, and I started teaching people about the meditation that I do, breathing meditation I had channeled to me years ago. It was called Hamsa. And then I said, oh, you breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And then search on the internet. And then I find out that the breathing meditation is now called Hamsa breathing meditation. So I'm like, what? I know I made it up, like, because that was the last name that we were channeled. So I made up the meditation called Hamsa breathing meditation. But now I Google it, and now there's a Hamsa breathing meditation that's 10,000 years old. So I'm like, what? So did I manifest that, or did I go to another multiverse where that already existed? Or, so I was like blown away by that. And I said, well, I'm the founder of that meditation, but yet it's 10,000 years old. So how can I call myself the founder if anybody could go on the internet now and look it up and say it's 10,000 years old? Never heard of it before and I'm telling you. So, and now the Hamsa is the hand, right? So that's another thing. So the Hamsa is the hand of protection that protects people. So, that's another thing. So it's all good. It's all good. And I'm not complaining. I'm not saying negative things. I'm saying positive things. But, I see changes, and, I'm going to just leave it off in that. So it's a real good breathing meditation, and I'm excited about it. And I could say I'm the founder, but then if you do a lot of research on it, you'll see I came across later on that now it's 10,000 years old. So, what can you do, right? You can't get credit nowhere, man. You just can't, It sounds too crazy to even say out loud to people, like, oh, you're sure, copyrighted breathing, yeah. You really can't make this stuff up. But anyway, Merry Christmas to people who celebrate Christmas. It just happened a few days ago. I'm wearing my plaid shirt to commemorate that Christmassy feel. And it's been cold where I am. But anyway, I wanted to make a video. I have a lot of things to say. There are some crazy things that I want to talk to you guys about, but I want to get everybody on the same page, like I said from the beginning. I'm going to be doing this Enlightenment Teaching Mastership class on the 19th in New York, which I'm super excited about, and they're excited to have me at this ashram. And I think it's going to be really awesome. We're going to be doing chanting, meditation. I'm going to be talking about lessons and things like that. And it's going to be really good. Been nothing bad, What else? Well, that's pretty much it. I talked about those two things and Mandela effects, but I don't like to, I'm only saying the positive stuff. What's the positive thing about the snake and the spider? Well, it's just showing you like that's direct manifestation of something. It's just like that didn't exist. Come on. You don't think you would have heard on TV? Oh, the viper with the tail of a spider before? No one would have. Yeah, that's real. No one would have mentioned that there was a viper with a spider for a tail. You never heard of it? It's not in a pet store. I've been to reptile shows, and I went to one pretty recent. I've gone a couple times a year to reptile shows. I have some reptiles. I know all about snakes. I have a snake. I have a couple lizards, and I'm not like a novice, and never heard of a viper with a spider for a tail. Okay? So just go with me with this, don't and there's a lot of negative comments. Sometimes people go wig out, It's like they're the antibodies for reality. They want to upset, No, I don't want to upset my reality, and you're upsetting it with this truth. Well, if it's the truth, I'm only talking about the truth. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not aggrandizing myself. I'm telling you truth. Things are true. All right? I'm just telling you, I'm so excited about 2020, and it's going to be off the hook. And I'm telling you, I'm going to write more. I have a blog, victorhamsa.com. One more thing. We're already 32 minutes. This is important. For the people that stayed with me till now, you're not going to be sorry. So, and maybe I'll put this in another video too, because this is something really close to my heart I want to talk to you about. I wrote in a blog about therapy, about getting out those demons and healing trauma. So the way we heal trauma, I said, is by writing poetry. So when you write your feelings on a piece of paper, and I met somebody who is working with vets, and I said I would work with vets to go down there and teach them how to write poetry, to write their feelings out on paper for healing. Because once you write it on a piece of paper, you have that distance between yourself and the trauma, and you write out just how it comes out of you, like that feeling. But the idea behind it is you kind of try to make the second verse rhyme to start with, to make it a real poem. And that puts it in a perspective where it goes into a deep part of the brain, where the brain is actually formulating that artisticness, and the brain, deep level of the brain, is getting to that rhyming part, and it's taking that out, and it's actually getting that outside of you, those emotions, so you can actually examine it to see it separate from yourself as a poem. So I'm hopefully I volunteer my services, and someone was who's in charge of the therapy in a hospital for vets, and they were talking to someone I know about me, and they got my email, and they were going to message me about working with vets about that, and I was excited. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Which another thing, I'm into is helping people like that. So I think that would be super important, and I think it's important for me to tell you that if you have trauma in your past, you could get that out by putting it on paper. And when you're writing those feelings out, you're examining them, and you they're there. You could share it with somebody or not share it with somebody, but you have it, and you could reread it, and it's putting distance between you and those feelings. So that I wanted to get out there. It was really important, and I wrote that in my blog. I just wrote it on my phone real quick and posted it, but I think it was really neat because I wrote it. I just felt like, sharing that idea that I had and helping with trauma. And I sent it to somebody from Facebook, and he was like, "I'm just visiting my dad in jail right now." I think it was on Christmas Eve. And I said, "Oh, share it with him." He's like, "Yeah, I just got an idea to do that." And he's going to share, I'm sure, with guys in the prison. So I was like, cool. So, like, for me to write something, like, just get the idea to write something to help people and put in my blog and sent it to someone else. And then I sent it to the person in charge of the vets so they could do it themselves and not even give me credit. Like, I don't care. Just get it out there. Get to use it with the vets to help them, to get that idea for therapy out there, for self-healing, how to write poetry. And what you do is, again, you just take your feelings and you write them on a piece of paper, how you're feeling, and just put it out there. Instead of meditating with it, you don't want to do that when you have that trauma and then you're reliving it. You don't want to go through that, and then you'll feel violent. And you're not. This gives you a separation, a healthy separation from that trauma, and you can examine the feeling, and then you put it on paper in an artistic way, which would be amazing, I think. And imagine the art that could come out of that, and then healing. So I was super excited about doing that. So I might make another video about just healing trauma from poetry, and I'll call it that. So I have a lot of, like, I could literally talk for like 5 hours, and that's why I'm doing this satsang and meditation and talk. I'm scheduled for 3 hours. If you can make it in New York, it's definitely worth it. I won't waste your time. You're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna get deep into stuff and then I work with the crowd. If people can handle, what I can say, then I'll say it. If they can't handle what I want to say, then I'm not gonna say it, and I just go with their energy. And I try to teach like the Maharishi did with silence, and then going through all the newer energies, and there's been a lot of negativity with pedophilia and all. Horrible. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to bring it up. It's like, ugh. I thank God almost every day that I'm not a pedophile and never want to be, never had that inclination, thank God. But it seems like it's like a warning, what I mean to say, it's like, don't use your spiritualness for trying to get your groove on. Those things are separate. It's just so important. It's so important, especially me being, a spiritual teacher and healer and all those good things, to keep, your personal life and, your private life and your people that you're trying to heal. It has to be separate. Guys, don't stalk me. Don't try to get too close. You know what I mean? That's why we have the separation. And it's healthy. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I believe that that's true. So you have to take that separation, enjoy that separation, be yourself. Be enlightened on your own too. I'm pointing directions, but you get there. And I used to do a lot of mentoring online, tons of mentoring, I'm telling you. And then people get to a certain point and they're like, okay, bye. And they're gone, it's like they popped off their own universe, I always said, and they're gone. I don't talk to them anymore. They just like disappear. I had this feeling like people get to a certain vibrational level and they just maybe pop off in their own universe, but I'm not trying to hang on to them. If you're done with me, you're done. You move on. That's what it's about. It's about helping people to move forward and they move on. I'm not, like I heard some stories about Moji. Do you know who this is? Mooji or Moojiji, which is another Mandela effect. So that they're all like going down there almost worshiping him, and he's living with three women in a separate house where he doesn't let them leave. And when they go down there all the time, they're all, "Oh, Moshe, you're the best." Oh. And they're all like all over him. And I don't know, something about this doesn't seem healthy. It just doesn't. I think he's the next thing that people are going to hear about. And they're like, "Oh, he's like this. He's like, oh, he has 160, what was it? I saw it real quick. 160,000 or 100 subscribers to his, I don't know, it's something crazy. 60 million followers on Instagram or something. I'm like, I'm doing the same kind of thing, and I have like, 10. But, it's not the quantity, it's the quality, right? But it's more than that. It's if you're saying the truth, what I say is, if you're saying the truth, the people who come to you are the ones that are supposed to come to you. If I wanted to be popular, I'd be saying the things that I think that people, want to hear. I could say that real easy. I'm not doing that. I'm saying the things that I think people should hear. So there's a big difference. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to me rant. Like, subscribe, share, as they say. Thank you so much, and share away. It's time for sharing. Anyway, Happy New Year. If you don't see my videos since then. Thank you so much. Peace. Namaste. Bye bye.